I'll open the meeting. Welcome to the Lee Select Board meeting of January 20th, 7 o'clock. And before we get started, I'll read that pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, I'm hereby informing all attendees that a video and audio recording is being made of the meeting, just so that everyone is aware. And with that, we will jump into our agenda for tonight. Our first order of business being the open session minutes of January 6th. Have both of you had the chance to review these, and are there any comments or issues?
There were two very slight adjustments, but nothing substantial.
Do I have a motion for approval then?
Mr. Shire, I move we approve the minutes of January 6th.
I will second that.
And if there's no further comment, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next order of business, we have public comment. This is the time for anybody who would like to speak to a specific agenda item or other item to come forward and say what you have to say, either in person or on Zoom. Please just introduce yourself and let us know what you have for us tonight.
Hello, I'm Cindy Mathias from Lee. I'm here today to raise an alarm regarding the Eversource smart meters. The letter Eversource sent out dated 11/4 and 12/4/25 left out the fact that we have an option to opt out. 95% of people have no idea that this is even a possibility. One of the reasons to opt out is because of the signal the meter sends out. It's an RF, a type of electromagnetic field EMF radiation. It pulses 24/7. There are numerous studies that state that this is not safe health-wise. There is a fire concern too, especially for houses built before 1990. PG&E Electric Company in California is being sued because it is being linked to some of the fires in LA. There are now 50 local governments in California that voted to ban the smart meters altogether. There is also a concern about electric prices rising significantly because the meters can now look at your usage during peak hours. Eversource wants a one-time opt-out fee of $42 and a monthly opt-out fee of $34. This is totally unaffordable, and especially for people on a fixed income. The state of Vermont allows an opt-out with no fees. So I'm asking, can the town negotiate a lower fee? Perhaps $10 like other states? We want to keep the analog meters for a multitude of reasons. I am asking the Select Board to put this topic on a future agenda for a full discussion, along with the Tri-Town Health Department participating. I feel the best option for the town of Lee is to take a stand and for the town to vote to say no to smart meters altogether. I ask that the Select Board tell Eversource the town is not opting out, we are refusing to opt in. I have a handout for everyone listing documentaries, videos, and other sources that have the best information about why we should not have smart meters. Thank you for your cooperation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
I know, it's a lot of work to go through these, but
It's okay. That's what we
it's going to tell
do.
you the truth,
Okay, thank
and
you.
I'm really hoping.
Thank you.
Do you have one for Sabrina too?
Yeah.
So just for the record, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment?
Just looking.
Somebody's looking to enter. I'll give it a
I
minute.
think that's for the next, or for a future. I don't see any hand.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very
she
good.
would be here for
Yeah.
Canal, yeah.
All right. In that case, if there's no other public comments, we will move into general business. First order of general business is an update from Green Theory. Of who do we have here? Thank you. Yes, please come forward, introduce yourselves, and yeah.
All right, here, my name is Upesh, and Green Theory Cultivations, Aruna Farm. We are originally an investor in that facility. Me and other partners, Milan Sheikh, she is not here today. The reason for me to come here for after our CEO resigned, that was December 2nd. After the incident happened with him, some misconduct with CCC found it. That was really a sad news for us as an investor that after investing so much money into this project, we have nobody to at that point to take care of the business. So I forced myself to, I'm in the state of Maryland. We own a lot of other businesses, but not this type of, but this was our investment project. Since he left the project, and then we had no other choice, but I got to step it in. So I put myself in a position there as an interim CEO, and until everything runs smooth, take what the town of Lee has any question for me, how the facility is doing in this area, any concern that I'm here that to my knowledge I can answer all these questions. Some of the things that is after I took care of it, and since I am making a frequent visit to facility and addressing all the issues been going on, trying to resolve all the matters which I could with my best knowledge with the help of the current staff. They're a very good team. And I found there is other issues with the smells and other stuff in the town people has complained about. So I dig down more into it and found that Clean Theory, that was was not up and running for almost a year and a half. And some of the problems that the facility was going through was not brought to the knowledge to all the investors. After he resigned, I jumped in, I found the multiple different things that needs to be corrected. So one by one, I'm now taking all that problems and try to resolve it. And one of the important to me is that Clean Theory that is supposed to be up and running to so the smell don't go out the facility. We signed the contract with them with the Clean Theory. All the negotiation with the pricing is done.
Just if you could just clarify, Clean Theory? Is that the company that's the odor mitigation technologies?
Yes,
okay.
yes. Yeah. So that Clean Theory system was not running for almost a year and a half. And today when I was at the facility, Mr. Brandt was working to run the system up to date. He's a tech for the Clean Theory. And the gas that was going to fill up in the tank, chlorine dioxide. The truck actually was scheduled for last week, but unfortunately that was broke in Albany area, and I got everything in writing from them that I am on board with them, but it's not my fault that it got delayed. So they already sent out the tech to check the system prior to fill up the gas. So now they set up a new step schedule for this coming Thursday. So when the system is checked out and then the gas would be filled in and it would be back onto the operating condition starting that date. So that was the biggest concern for me to start that system right away. Other thing about some of the water bills and property tax that was not being paid, we come up with some of the payments plans on that, and we did paid one of that payments, and this upcoming February is another payments is due on the 1st of February. So we could take care of that as we go.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here to take any other questions the board has for me.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for making the journey. And it sounds like you're taking, you know, things very seriously, and you're making a lot of the progress that we had been talking about, that we had been hoping for. As far as, yeah, first, when it comes to the payment schedule, I think we have that.
It's already signed.
It's already signed, and the first payment's been made. It was the first or the
First payment's made, the
second one's
Second one is due in
February, which you just
February,
mentioned,
yeah.
which, you
And
know,
unfortunately, James McMahon could not attend
Yeah,
today's
yeah,
meeting.
totally
I
understand.
just got his email from him, so he has another hearing today.
And yeah, so as far as we want to work with Green Theory to, you know, so that you guys can continue to operate, and that, you know, that your neighbors aren't negatively impacted, and it sounds like you just need to charge the system with this gas
Yes, and
to get it to
it's everything
operational.
on board scheduling.
And it was just a delay because the truck was,
Yes,
right.
and it's already again for Tuesday, this coming Thursday.
Yeah, great. So it sounds like, from where I'm sitting, that you're doing your due diligence and taking the steps that we were hoping to take. So I'd like to commend you for that, and open it up to these guys to see if they have any questions for you. And we'll just continue to move forward with you on, you know,
Thank you.
as long as the odor mitigation is in place and
Yes,
takes care of the issue.
I'll stay on top of
I don't
that.
think-
I'll make sure that.
And the payments are being made, I don't think we're gonna have any issues, but
And in my.
I'm only one of
operation-
3 here, so we'll see what these guys say.
I mean, under my operation, I make sure that system is up and running. We will never be shut down like what the other previous CEO has done it.
Bob, Gordon, you guys have anything?
You know, Bob, anything from you?
Oh, just you know, this has been going on for some time, as you know. Thank you for being here tonight. I'll echo everything that Sean has said, and it sounds to me like it was a problem within the company with management.
Yes, that was a big problem. yes.
I just want to assure you that we want you to succeed. We want you to do well. When
Yeah.
you do well, the town does well. And so we look forward to seeing the corrections made, and looking forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you. I mean, from town, if anybody would like to come us and check it out whether we are complying, or anytime they prefer to, no problem.
Great.
No, all I was going to say was I was hoping you weren't coming here to tell me it's already done, because it's been smelling all week. So that's good. I mean, it's good news from us that it's not up and running yet, because it's been pretty bad some days. And
And
you know.
Mr. Brandt, he
Yeah,
already
yeah.
checked the system, and
Great.
again, after fill up the gas,
Great. Yep.
they are going
Perfect.
to come to calibrate it.
Yep.
So make sure it's properly
Sure,
functioning.
sure.
Yeah.
No, I have nothing to say other than that, and I'll mimic what they have said. And we certainly want to see a business succeed. That has not ever been on the table as anything. Just this odor issue, and of course the other financial issues. But sounds like you're well on your way, and I'm looking forward to Friday morning.
Thank you.
Okay. Well,
Thanks for
you.
coming with us,
That's it.
and
Yeah.
we may follow up just to, you know,
Yeah.
when the system's
Touch base.
charged, but we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for coming. Thanks.
All right, next order of business is, we have an agreement to consider signing. This is for the CDCSB regarding the permitting fees that we had discussed over the last couple meetings. And so I have with me here a letter from them, and if there's somebody from, yeah, please come and introduce.
We have a couple on.
Yeah, introduce yourselves, and if you'd like to speak to this to start.
Sure. So I'm Jim Harwood. I'm the president of the board of CDC South Berkshire, and we have with us remotely Stephanie Lane, who's our executive director, and Diana Glanternick, who is our development consultant.
Yeah, so over the last couple of meetings, the CDC has asked the town for some fee relief on these permitting fees, and I have a letter here kind of outlining that to discount 50% of the building permit fees, 50%, these are all, oh, okay, so that's just the same, these are just an estimate of 50%.
It's a moving target.
Moving target, that's why I have four different numbers in front of me.
Until really, till
Which was
finished.
Which was a little confusing, because I was like, wait a second, we're not crediting them.
I don't get that much.
Yeah, I don't get that much, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's going to be in the ballpark
By
of
the time
100.
we're done, you'll be paying us to build this building. It'll be great. You'll love it.
Yeah, we certainly hope so. And in the end, it'll be somewhere around $120,000 in fee relief,
That's
plus
what
or minus.
Yes.
And this is just in regards to building, not water and sewer.
So for the water and sewer, we have to appeal directly to the Public Works Board.
Correct.
And we're going to do that. We're going to ask you guys in a separate meeting for a letter of support for that.
We will, is there somebody that was trying to speak up on Zoom? Nope.
No, sorry.
Thought I heard, yeah, no, no problem. I thought I heard somebody. So I'll open it up to the board. Do you guys have any issues with this fee structure?
I think we've discussed it in previous meetings and sort of knew what was coming.
Do you believe that you'll be getting money from the Executive Office of Economic Development also? Or does this all come through EOHLC?
That's a Diana question.
Okay.
Yeah, EOHLC will be the main
The
source
primary.
of funding. And then mass development with tax exempt bonds as well. But,
Okay. Not through the Executive Office of Community Development that you know of? Or executive, yeah, it's the Executive Office of Economic Development. Any funds through them that they have their hands on?
Not that I know of.
Okay,
right now.
thank you. Yeah.
Okay, well, if there's no issues with this fee structure, I would entertain a motion to approve and sign the agreement between us and the CDC South Berkshire.
I'll make the motion to approve as written and specified here.
I will second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Our next order of business, we have a technical assistance. This isn't a grant, this is like kind of like a program. We have our town planner coming up to tell us all about it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So I don't know if you all remember last year, the vacant storefront funding that we applied for, same program. So DLTA is the program through BRPC, so Berkshire Regional Planning Commission, to basically give us technical assistance. This year, when looking through what they would provide and what they have provided for other communities in the past, I figured and I thought that the seasonal community designation would be a good thing to look into and get more research on. Recently, Lee was designated as a seasonal community, which we will then have the ability to vote in for, opt in at town meeting. And so before we started looking at draft bylaws that we may have the ability to adopt if we so choose to, designate into this program, I was talking with other planners, including Williamstown and Lenox, who both communities were also, like us, just kind of incorporated into this, with a little bit of questions about what possibilities this would open for us. So after discussions with Andrew Groff, who's a town planner for Williamstown, and Eamon Coughlin, who is a town planner for Lenox, we decided to kind of do a collaborative application for a DLTA with BRPC to help all of our towns understand. We do have similar goals with master plans, similar understandings of tourism. Williamstown's a little different than us because they have a college, but if you take the college out of the equation, they have very similar goals and aspirations as our master plan does. And then Lennox is our neighbor, and we share a lot of similar, demographics and similar goals in the master plans as well. So we thought it would be a great opportunity for a regionalized program where we work with BRPC. So more than likely CJ Haas or one member of his team from BRPC would work with us 3 planners. We would then disseminate information to our planning boards and work together to potentially write, a draft bylaw that each of our towns could adopt and change if needed. But also showing that, as the Berkshires as a whole, we all do have similar requirements with tourism, also similar requirements with the need of housing, as we've always all discussed. So kind of partnering to bring more ideas onto the table and lessen the load for all of our boards of having to write another set of bylaws on top of how many other bylaws is the planning board currently going through and editing and changing and needing to write with other requirements that the state's kind of putting onto us. So yeah, this is the application. There are 2 letters of support, one from the town administrator from Williamstown and one from the town administrator from Lennox as well.
Great. And this is no cost to the town for these services, right? That's
Nope.
kind of
No cost to the town.
the carrot.
The grant basically is them giving us technical assistance.
The reason for those 2 letters of support is that Lee would be the lead municipality.
Right, yeah.
So Brooke would be applying for Lee, and the others would be joining as.
Yeah.
Great. No, I think this is a great program we've utilized in the past and should continue. Bob, Gordon, do you guys have anything you want to add?
I don't have any questions.
No.
Is this unfolds? There may be some other questions.
I think we'll all have questions as we
Yeah.
discover more about the program itself and why we got into it.
So I would entertain a motion to sign, would it just be to sign the technical assistance application?
Mr. Chair, I move that we sign the request for technical assistance.
Just the chair.
Just the chair.
The chair. sorry.
Yeah. I have a motion.
Was that it? Okay, you have a second.
I have a
I
second.
wasn't sure if he was done. I didn't want to interrupt him.
Yeah, I was on a roll.
You were going for it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And moving on, we have a B-City resolution to consider. Don't go too far, Brooke. And is this, do you want to speak to this? Is this coming from the Green Gateway or? Somewhat.
Green Gateway is, as long as our application goes through, will be the designated committee tasked with upkeeping the B-City designation every year. Again, kind of going back, I think similar timing last year, I came to the board to talk about us applying for B-City, which is essentially a program through the Xerxes Society, which lets everyone know, similar to Tree City, the Tree City program, but it lets everyone know that we have pollinator gardens, we care about native pollinators and native plants, and it's a great designation for us to be involved in, and we're essentially already doing all of the things that B-City requires with Pollinator Pathway and other initiatives started by the Greener Gateway and the League Community Gardens and other organizations in town as well. So this is the resolution that B-City would like us to adopt. Essentially, it goes through talking about the importance of native habitat. So we are losing each year a large majority of native pollinators due to climate change, loss of habitat, loss of food, fragmentation, whole other reasons as well. But B-City's kind of role in improving our native pollinator populations are increasing amount of native food provided year-round, not in winter, but early spring to late fall, having habitat for them on a greater scale, decreasing fragmentation, which is a big part of what Pollinator Pathways does, and we already do in town. And so this resolution goes through that. Also, it talks about not using herbicides, pesticides, things of that nature. We already do that in town. The only thing is we don't have an integrated pest management plan, which this does talk about, and having a greater pollinator plan, which is something that we would work to by the next year of our re-signing of, reapplying for the designation if we are given it. So, yeah, I can field any questions you'll have if you have any questions.
All right.
you guys go first.
I don't want to be first.
Bob, Gordon?
Is Lennox doing this as well?
This is something that I did at the University of New Hampshire
Okay.
in my undergraduate career, and then I helped the town of New Milford, Connecticut become the first bee city in Connecticut. And the only other area right now, as far as I'm aware, in Massachusetts is UMass Amherst is a bee campus, which is a sister program of Bee City. But last time I checked, which was about a month ago, my understanding there was no other towns, at least in the Berkshires, that have a Bee City designation. Closer to Boston, there's a few that do, but.
The only other question I have you gotten any feedback? I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
But have you gotten any feedback from, say, the agricultural industry on this? Is there any pushback?
I think I discussed this at an AgCom meeting a while ago, and they were in favor of it. The Greener Gateway Committee is very in favor of it. The Community Gardens is in favor of it. I've actually worked with Catherine Miller quite a bit on the designation, and I've been working with the Greener Gateway Committee as this process has kind of been unfolding, just to understand what the task would be on them, which is very minimal. But it really, doesn't prevent anybody from doing what they're already doing. We're already, as a town, doing all the right things that they want to see with increasing native populations, by increasing more native pollinator gardens, and trying to just educate people on why some pesticides and herbicides aren't good for native populations, even if they are good for invasive populations of plants and the like. And really, Greener Gateway already does all the things that this is asking, so there wouldn't be any more of a pull on any of our other populations or committees or groups in town, but it would just be actually getting designated for the stuff we already do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So a resolution that was passed at town meeting, even for the same sort of thing, but they want the specific language, so the town meeting has a pollinator resolution passed already.
Right.
It just has to be in specific language.
Yeah, so we're considering adopting this resolution, so.
So, yeah, I have questions. Well, if you're done.
I'm done.
I'm gonna help you guys. Yeah, I have some questions. Number one, who are these people? Are they just a nonprofit? Are they a government entity? How are they funded?
They're a nonprofit.
Okay.
So they're funded,
Okay.
I mean, each application every year is a fee. It's designated about the size of your population of your town or your committee or your campus for undergraduate or for colleges.
And do you know what that fee is by person?
I don't know by person, but.
No, it's based on our population, so I'm just wondering.
I the specifics. It's a very nominal fee.
And I guess I had a couple things as I read. One was there's going to be a report that has to get sent to them every year. Is that done by the planner, or is that out of the planning board, or Greener Gateway? Who does the report?
It would be the designated body. That's the Bee City Committee, which will be the Greener Gateway Committee. But it's basically a report of what events have you done, what were the outcome, how many people did you get volunteering, and what goals did you meet? Did you do any education? And kind of just an update on what you're doing in town. But it's not like a very lengthy report that doesn't require hours and hours of time. It's kind of a summary of your events over the last year.
So I guess, what do we get from them other than, it sounds like we get a little sign to put as you're coming into Lee that says we're, be friendly and all that, which we could do on our own. We don't need it from them. But in other words, what other support or what are the other advantages? Because if we're going to have to pay a fee, let's at least find out if that's worth it. I'm not against this. Don't misunderstand me. It's like who, what, why, where, when, those kind of things. And so I'd like to know more. I don't know anything about these people.
Definitely. The fee also is just $100 a year.
Pretty much.
Because we have less than 9,990.
Okay, very good. So at least that answers that. $100. I'm not afraid of $100 a year.
Yeah. So they do a lot of education. There's a lot of programming that you can get from them, a lot of educational literature, videos, classes. Sometimes they have in the past, I don't know if they're showing it or not, but they had a specific pollinator movie that they gave to all the bee cities to actually show and do events. For example, in New Milford, Connecticut, really their Bee City Committee partnered with the Girl Scouts, and it was all the Girl Scouts projects to educate about pollinators. They made a specific pollinator badge. They partnered also, they were creating a river walk. They have been working on creating a river walk. kind of like our bike path, I think, in essence, of making a large strip of land. Theirs is right next to the river for walking, and they partnered with that entity to do native plantings along it, education, signage. So it's kind of just more of a robust allowance of educational materials for teaching the importance of pollinators. You do get sign designations, you get to be on the list of all the bee cities. You can do other partnership events with other bee cities as well, but with how kind of spread out they are in this area, it would be difficult to do collaborations.
Yeah.
But in more populated areas with closer cities, they do events and they host, and it's kind of, gets to be more of a bigger thing, but definitely it'd be sparse out here.
So it looks like we also need to keep a link on our website and whatnot, and that's not a problem, with plenty of room and all that, I assume.
Yeah, we would create a different page probably
Yeah.
under the Greener Gateway.
That's what it asks for a different page.
Yep, and then it would just talk about, what we do, what are our volunteer events, if you want to come and volunteer.
Okay.
Here's what it is, here are the different pollinator areas in town that are native populations. Here are the native pollinators that you might see, things like that.
So in your history with them, and you said the Girl Scouts down in Connecticut.
Yeah.
So is this something where they could partner with the school also, and then they would give the school these things, or does it have to run through our website over to the school? Like, what kind of interaction did you find that they had with the Girl Scouts?
Yeah, so the Bee City Committee was really one designating and giving out and dispersing educational materials and the
Okay.
like. But they did work, with the school. Just the Girl Scouts were way more interested and had more time after
Sure.
school, so they did a lot of their Girl Scout projects focusing on pollinators. So they made it into that educational program. At the university, again, it's a different program, but it is their sister program. So instead of a city, it's a campus. We did a lot of groups, a lot of working with different volunteer-based organizations on campus, including the high school.
Okay.
So I was really involved with Durham Elementary, Oyster River Elementary and Durham High School in getting them to come out and volunteer in the summer as well, because there weren't as many kids in the summer to actually volunteer, but that's when the gardens were blooming and when we really needed help. So there's definitely opportunity to make this be more than it actually is. I mean, it's a very simple process. It's very easy to get a designation, especially because we're already doing everything for the most part that it asks for. But we can bring it into more of an education with a curriculum, or be more passive with informational signage and brochures and the like. So it really, we can tailor it to be whatever we want it to be in that regard.
Well, I guess that answered, it mainly was what are we going to get out of it, but if they're already have all these packages of information and whatnot, and that they're willing to give to us, I mean, at least I know we're getting something for $100, it's like what would be the use of it? Because as you mentioned, we're already doing almost all of this.
Yeah.
So it's not a big stretch, so. No, those are my questions, and thank you very much.
Great, so thanks for all that information, Brooke, and if I would entertain a motion to adopt the Bee City resolution.
Sure, well, I guess I gave the most questions, so I'll make the motion that we adopt the city resolution as presented to us.
I will second that.
Any further discussion before I call for a vote? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, our next order of business, we have a discussion and potential vote for an internal posting in regards to the position of police chief. So some people may or may not be aware that our police chief, Craig DeSantis, is going to leave us and retire. So congratulations, Craig. And that leaves us with a vacancy. And do you want to speak to this, or it's really on us to fill that, and we're considering doing an internal posting.
His retirement will be in early fall, so we have some time, but we do have a structure in place of advancement within the department from officer to sergeant to lieutenant and so forth. So that is not something the department has always had in the past.
Right.
But we do have the board has the ability to promote that from within. And so that was kind of the first step before we took any next moves on this. So, and I believe last meeting I presented the board with some options And
Yeah, thanks. So, Bob, Gordon, do you guys have any thoughts on this?
Just a question. I mean, we're fortunate to have under Chief DeSantis, in my opinion, a terrific department here in Lee. And we have some very talented people currently within the department. Does this preclude people from the outside applying if they wanted to, just because we're doing an internal posting? Does that preclude somebody from the outside from applying?
yeah, so there are some towns that have bylaws that say you can only do from internal. We do not have that, so the board has the ability to, but if we're doing an internal, that would be strictly an internal posting, and then after that, the board could go back out and do, after we see the interest in that, the board could then do an outside as well. So the last time we promoted from within, and it was strictly an internal posting. I wasn't in this position then, but I did check, and that's how that was. And we have gone out. I guess it kind of depends on who is, if anyone currently has the qualifications for that position, which the department does have staff that's qualified for that position.
We have a drafting
so we've done it both ways. But
yeah, we have kind of a draft of some of those qualifications. I know I've spoken with the chief about that, and so that's what. Have you both seen that? Because that's something that,
So the town does not always have this opportunity. We do now, which is why it's up for discussion. There's been times in the past where we hadn't. And again, there's some towns that say you have to be a lieutenant for X number of years in this department to become chief. We don't have that requirement, but we're not civil service, so we're not. Our requirement is that the police chief under state law be appointed by the select board, but the board has the flexibility if you want to start with an internal, see what candidates apply, and then go to an external later. And I can just say we do have qualified candidates. So on this particular time,
I know, I think that the recommendation from the chief was probably to go internal first, and then if no one applies, or if for some reason we decide not to go that way, as you said, we have an option to go out later. But I think to start the process, I have no problem with that. I know Chief DeSantis came from inside, and I was here before that many years ago when we had it open to everyone. We ended up hiring Chief Russa from within anyway.
Internal,
Because just with the understanding of how the town works and how the department worked, and that worked out very well for us, to have him. What's that?
Chief Office before that.
Yeah, Chief Office before that, you're right. Yeah, but so it's kind of a history we have.
Those were full search committees.
Yes, they were. And yet we still came around and hired internally. And that was my point by bringing up Chief Russa, that is an option, but I think it might be a fine idea to at least keep it up. We haven't gone wrong so far in the last grouping, so I'm fine with beginning the process with putting it out internally, see what happens.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that the most important thing is that we're being transparent and everything that we're doing. This is a good beginning to get the process going.
I agree. I think something that I think I may be off, but I think Chief DeSantis said, the average chief at this in this day and age serves for about 4 or 5 years, and I hope we might get more than that out of a chief, but that's kind of the reality of the position, and which I think is probably right about where that's been the period that he's been police chief for after he was acting. I think an internal posting is a good place to start. So do we need we need a vote to do that?
Yeah, and then I could take the next steps after the board votes.
So I would entertain the motion to conduct an internal posting for the position of police chief.
Mr. Chair, I move that the select board vote for an internal posting for the position of police chief in the town of Lee.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, our next order of business is we have a flag policy amendment to consider. Have you both had the chance to review this? It's a very minor
Yeah.
addition that we're considering adding to our flag policy to allow any flag specifically designated in a proclamation to be flown,
Signed by the select board.
signed by the select board,
Yeah.
to be flown.
And that's directly related to item G, so.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Any thoughts, discussion?
Only that this discussion's gone back quite some time, and my concern all along has always been that, all right, if we let the Kiwanis put up a flag, then does the American Nazi Party get to put up a flag, or the Klan, or what? And it was always, I've always been in the mindset that, you know, you've got the American flag and the missing in action flag and the state flag, and that's it, because there's no way we can be fair. But this is a way, I think, now with a proclamation for a specific group that we can celebrate various groups who are contributors to the community, and it's a way that we can sort of keeping those groups that are marginalized, negative groups that are not marginalized, from having their flags being flown.
I guess I'm always wary of the law of unintended consequences, you know, when we make any adjustment to anything. I know you say it's tied to 3G, which is the gay, I have no problem with that at all. My only issue is what are we not foreseeing with other groups? And I know that in some ways I shouldn't be that worried because it does come back to this board. Well, we don't know who's going to be on this board in 3 years or 10 years or whatever. And, you know, they say the pendulum of politics swings both ways. And so I've always been a little leery of those kind of things. To me, it's a tough one because, you know, I've always said, no, it should just be national, state, POW, you know, fine. And even the town of Lee could put their flag up, which I didn't realize that was on here. But we don't need to do that, you know. And again, if, you know, you have the church, you have all these other businesses, if someone came with a permit to put up a flag on one of those buildings, you know, they would, as a sign, they'd be going through, you know, us as temporary sign permit holders or permanent, or if the church, the owner of the property, wanted to put up their own flagpole and have their own internal, you know, process, then we have nothing to say about it, really. So I guess I'm always wary, so I think I'd like to hear from other people before I, you know, go from there. I'd
like to get to Josh in a second,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I just have one thought from that, and I suppose I see your thinking, but I suppose that, you know, in the future, us not always being on this board, the next board could just amend this flag policy to do, you know,
do whatever they want.
So if you're worried about them abusing the proclamation point of this policy, then they could just rewrite the policy and totally. So.
Understood, and that's why you can't hold a future board to what we decide. You can't say, okay, we're going to vote on this and nobody can ever change it, you know? The legislature can't do that, you know? A new legislature can do whatever they want. So, and I get that. I do get that. So it still makes me nervous to start playing with things that have worked for all this time. That's all.
Completely understood.
Yeah.
Go ahead, introduce yourself for everybody else.
Hi, I'm Josh Bloom of
Yeah.
204 West Park Street in Lee. To address your concern, one of the interesting safeguards that the town has regarding the town flagpole is before you actually add a flag to that flagpole, you're going to need to get the approval of the church because the church, it's on the church property. So there is a secondary process by which there is another moral authority that will have to meet and weigh in on this. And so not only will it require the select board to approve of the proclamation, but it will also need to meet the standards and the non-discriminatory policies, both of the town and of the church, to be allowed, and meet the needs of the church to be allowed up on the flagpole, to be additional beyond what is allowed by the state.
That's a good point. So, question for you. Do we own that flagpole? I mean, I know this is silly, but do we own it, or is it the church and they're allowing us to? Do you know, Josh? I have no clue. I have no clue.
It is a very gray area.
Okay.
The town will say,
Yeah.
and I've asked the town, that the flagpole is the town. The church respects the sovereignty
Gotcha.
of the town and the flagpole as being the town's.
Okay.
There are questions about how the church has taken some issues, as far as I know, and I am not a representative
Yeah.
or a member of the church,
Understood.
in how the town interprets other aspects of regulating aspects of what happens in that park.
Right.
But with regards to the flagpole, it is on the church on the church ground, and much like a sign that would be, you need a sign permit. You have to also get approval from the church. Like the flag, you're going to need to do the same thing. So it is their property, but the flagpole was paid for by the town. It is the town probably did the cement work and the pole itself,
Installed
the
it,
flag,
yeah.
bought the flags.
Okay.
Yeah, and our agreement with the church allows for the pole. Without having it right in front of me, I believe the agreement is silent on specifically what's flown on it, but as Josh said, it's probably kind of like the flags, they could probably weigh in on that, but there is an agreement that will allow us to have it there.
Well, one of the reasons I asked was, again, looking at the unknown of all this, is, if in the future some select board did do, some proclamation and the church didn't agree with that, if it's our flagpole, we could still just put it up. We don't have to then get permission from them. And I'm just saying, I'm just trying to look at it from all sides, Josh. I'm not against what you're asking for. I just look at what's happened in the past in other areas.
From the church, I would say,
Yeah.
take that up with the church
Yeah.
in the future.
And, yes, and it's a good point, and I understand you're not here representing them. I could always make a phone call later, but, to somebody that I know who is on the board over there. No, it's just, that is my only concern,
Yeah.
And if you think that it's not a problem, then that's great.
I definitely
Then
share
I'll go along with it.
I share your concern. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but Chris, did you want to add
So I'm
something?
just going to say, I think the reason why some towns have added the proclamation part is then when towns have just had a blanket
Yeah.
flag thing, like there was a case that happened
Yeah.
in the other end of the
It was in
state with
Boston,
that.
wasn't it?
But the proclamation part, the difference is it brings it to a public meeting,
Okay.
so that anybody can come and express, concerns or whatever on it.
About the flag, yeah.
So.
And then the board is voting individually on so the
So
board
let's
is
say-
essentially endorsing it. If people don't like that, their recourse is to elect someone else.
Yeah,
But-
I get that. It might be a good recourse. Wouldn't break my heart at the moment. Not after the last few years. No, so this is strictly.
Love it here.
No, don't get crazy. A technical question. Do we have the ability to add another flag to the actual rope, I mean, how is that
How many
done?
flags
Is that
can you
easy to
stack
do?
up?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a good
or
question.
do we take something down? And I don't care, I really don't. But I'm just saying, should we, if in the future, do we need to get a different road? This is down the road, and it doesn't have to do with the way I'm gonna vote on this, but we have till when, June? So we have some time to look at that issue to make sure, because I don't want to see, the POW flag come down necessarily. That's the kind of thing I'm worried about. As long as we can do it and we're assured that this can happen without interfering with our, flags that we have there, and then I would be way more comfortable. I just don't want to see, the American flag and the POW come down for anybody. I don't care who it is. So I want to keep those up there.
I would be willing to table this to the next meeting and
I don't know that we need to do that, because if it, we can always rescind it if we find it's a major issue.
sure.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
We
wanted-
but.
Well, I get that.
Verify that we're not overcrowding the
You could-
flagpoles and,
You could go pending that it fits. if
sure,
you want,
yeah.
Yeah.
So approval pending that it fits, pending that there's space.
Yeah. And size and all that,
Yeah.
that the flag size comes back to us.
Okay, well, in that case, do I have a motion for, to approve the amendment of the flag policy?
All right, well, I'm the one who's pushing it question-wise, so I would make a motion that we adjust the flagpole policy and I would like a condition that any flag that is not listed in the first five bulleted, or first four bulleted items, that that anyone who wishes to put a flag there after a proclamation come back with the size of the sign and also the duration, and that be at the discretion of the board.
The size of the flag, you mean?
Yeah, size of the flag, yeah, and duration of when it's up, almost like a sign permit, temporary sign
All
permit
right,
issue.
I will second that.
Thank you.
Did you get all that for them?
Oh, she'll get me later if she didn't get it. She's good.
Well, I have a
Recorded, yeah.
I know. I have a motion and a second on the flag policy. If there's no further discussion, I will call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next order of business, we have a few items from Lee Pride to consider. I see Josh is already ready to give us the rundown, so go ahead. What do you got planned for this year, Josh?
Hi, I'm Josh Bloom of 204 West Park Street in Lee again. I am also a volunteer representing tonight representing Berkshire Pride. Lee Pride is a project of Berkshire Pride, which is a 501c3 nonprofit based out of Pittsfield, but covers all of Berkshire County. We have before us tonight a 1-month temporary sign permit that it is the same as we did last year, and it has already been approved by the First Congregational Church, UCC of Lee. We have before us a 1-day entertainment license for Pride in the Park. Pride in the Park is the expansion of the farmers market to include Pride-related vendors. That will go from 10 to 2 on Saturday, June 13th. Last year, after we had gotten this permit, but before the event, I met with Chief DeSantis, and he had advised me at that time that he was strongly recommending that we close off the parking lot completely. This was for last year, for safety reasons. And to do so, though, required a large budgetary line to cover the police that we had not yet budgeted for. And as much as I agreed with both the security concern and welcomed the additional space at that point, we didn't have the way to scramble to meet the demand of the budget. But we were left feeling as though we would like to coordinate this better for the following year. We wanted to take the advice of the police department much more seriously. So this year, back in the fall, we met the staff of Berkshire Pride and myself met with Chief DeSantis, as well as the pastor of the First Congregational Church. And we discussed these matters again. And again, he said, particularly especially because there was a security concern last year at the event, that we do, in fact, close off the parking lot. And what that involves is stationing a civilian vehicle at the entrance of the parking lot that could be moved with a driver that is available right there, should there be a need or necessity to move it. That there would be a patrol vehicle at the exit of the parking lot with an officer who would be allowing emergency vehicles and other emergency situations that could arise to be able to have access through there. He advised us not to retain any parking spaces, regardless of if it was for handicap parking or otherwise. He said everyone should just park elsewhere, and that the parking that is available will have to be suffice. But the concern is of a car ramming attack through the parking lot entrances, primarily. And so the total cost to the event will be $633.60. So we planned and budgeted, unless the town sees a way or finds a way that they want to waive that cost or cover that cost, we are assuming that Berkshire Pride is going to need to cover that cost, and we've budgeted for that accordingly this year. Next, in coordination with the town and in coordination with the police's request, we've reached out to all of the neighbors. There is one residential house that's over there. We spoke to them about their entrance and exit needs, and we will, they're fine with the plan, but should they have a need to actually enter and exit, we'll coordinate it with the police. That will create a corridor for them to be able to get out. And then the businesses, we've checked in with Nonotuck, with the law firm, with Enchanted Altar, and I've checked in with Peg Byron as well. So we've been, and we've made, they're all fine with that. In fact, two of those groups are actually vendors and part of the event, and so this gives them more room and space for it as well. So that is the difference in the one-day entertainment license, that it includes closing off the parking lot. This is something new and different for Lee. This was not at our doing, but again, this was recommended by the police. And then we have a one-day entertainment license for drag events at Starving Artist Cafe in the early and late evening on June 13th. We'll have a drag bingo, family-friendly event at 5 p.m., and then we will have a drag show and a dance party like we did last year. That will be 21 plus. And that we will be having also here before you is the Pride Proclamation for 2026, which is the same as last year, with the addition of the flag raising. The only thing that I'm not remembering off the top of my head, and maybe you can check this on my paperwork and remind me, I remember now that for Starving Artists, there needed to be an extension of their serving hours as part of the entertainment license. And I believe that it was pretty simple last year, and this is the same paperwork as we did last year. So if anything is missing specifically from that, I'm happy to come back specifically about serving. And I'm happy to answer any other questions about any one of these items or in the totality about the event.
Maybe we can start with the temporary sign permits, if that seems to fit. So I only have the one in front of me. Yeah, it's just the one, right? For the temporary sign permit?
Yeah, I think that's it, with a picture of the sign.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
with a picture of the sign? Yeah.
That's the only sign permit, I think.
So this is to display 48 square foot sign. Do you have the dates there? Yeah, it would be May 15th to June 13th. I don't have any, there's a sign attached. Do either of you have any issues, or would one of you like to make a motion to approve? And they're asking for the fee waiver. Is that
She did
something?
last year as well.
Yeah. I just have a quick question to make sure we see it right. It's through June 13th, but is this last year's picture, so it'll say June 13th, not June 14th?
Correct.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure we're on board.
It's the same banner.
Gotcha.
There's Velcro for the number and
Gotcha.
number 13 that pops right on.
Gotcha, all right, thank you. That was I just want to make sure they were aware and we're aware of the dates, so, all right.
All right, so I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the sign permit for Berkshire Pride as laid out in the document.
Waive the fee.
And waive the fee.
and
yes.
have the chair sign.
And to have the chairs.
I'll second that.
And if there's no further discussion on this temporary sign permit, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next we have two one-day entertainment licenses, as Josh had explained, June 13th, for both of the events. So can we do these both at the same time? And do we need to expressly extend starving artists' serving hours?
Any should submit a letter to you requesting
Yeah.
extension hours, but it doesn't affect the
The actual.
entertainment license.
All right, just making sure.
I will get that to you.
So I would entertain a motion to approve
Sure.
both entertainment licenses.
I would do that. I'm looking at these, I don't see a place for us to sign, so we don't sign these?
Nope.
Okay, then I just want to make sure that we're covering our bases. So I would make a motion to approve both one-day entertainment license applications.
I will second that.
Motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next, we have a proclamation, which I will read. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the Town of Lee Proclamation. It's January 20th, 2026. Whereas the Town of Lee is a friendly and welcoming community that celebrates, promotes, and recognizes the importance of diversity, equality, and inclusion. And whereas the Town of Lee is dedicated to fostering acceptance of all its residents and preventing discrimination and mistreatment. And we affirm our commitment to do more to support LGBTQIA+ rights in our town. And whereas the Town of Lee is strengthened by and thrives upon the rich diversity of ethnic, cultural, racial, and gender identities of its residents, and whereas the Town of Lee recognizes the importance and contributions of members of the LGBTQIA+ community, and whereas the Town of Lee acknowledges that members of the LGBTQIA+ community continues to face discrimination and cruel, persistent efforts to undermine their basic human rights, and it is specifically difficult for LGBTQIA+ youth. Now therefore, be it resolved that I, Sean Renier, Chairman of the Select Board of Lee, Massachusetts, do hereby proclaim that the month of June be known as LGBTQIA+ Pride Month in Lee, Massachusetts, and with the establishment of a town policy of flying flags commemorating significant events or causing consistent or causes consistent with the Town of Lee's values and missions, do hereby authorize the LGBTQIA+ Pride flag to be added to the municipal flagpole next to the town hall located in Park of the First Congregational Church of Lee, UCC, for the month of June. And encourage the residents of Town of Lee to join in celebrating Lee Pride as an annual celebration each June, promoting the principles of equality and liberty, while we remind the LGBTQIA+ community that they are deserving of dignity, respect, and support through our town. Given under my hand and seal of the Town of Lee on this, the 20th day of January 2026. So I would entertain a motion to, for the chair to sign this proclamation.
Mr. Chair, I move that we sign the proclamation for Town of Lee for the month of June to be LGBTQIA and Pride Month.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion on the?
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is this something you as the select board envision being something that should be renewed every year, or is this good and standing and we should take it as standing from, like, what's your recommendation?
I don't know, that's a good question.
Are we legally bound to do it every year? Do you know?
Typically, I believe they're done on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's dated as, you know what I mean, because the
Yeah.
dates are
Just
involved.
looking at the,
You know, maybe come back next year if you want it open-ended, talk about it open-ended.
No, I just
But,
wanted to clarify.
Yeah, I
that,
think
'cause
it's
Sabrina
just
and I had
for a year.
a little back and forth and being unclear about it.
Okay, very good.
I don't think it's a bad thing either. It reminds people of what you're
Well,
doing.
I was
you
gonna
know.
say, yeah.
As you said, you have different different makeup of the boards now.
Sure, you know, yep. Hopefully, it'll be something that's an annual event, but you never know.
Yeah.
You know, so.
All right, I
Thank you.
have a motion and a second, and if there's nothing further, I will call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
good
you.
enough.
Give a couple
And I will sign that.
other quick
Sure.
updates about what's happening.
Yeah,
with Levi.
please.
So 2 new additions that are happening this year, that the projects that I've been working on are 3. One is that I will be submitting to the Lee Library a scrapbook of LGBTQIA plus history in Lee. It's about a 200-page document of the history dating back to the 1800s or late 1800s, early 1900s. I will be leading a walking tour of the secret gay history of Lee during Lee Pride, and that will also involve stops in multiple antique stores in town. But I will again be covering from 1800s to present day. And as part of that, I will be having a major exhibit that I've been working with Jacob's Pillow on at the Lee Library for the month of June on the history of Jacob's Pillow and its relationship with the town of Lee. And so as part of that, there will be ancillary events that are, some are going to be part of Lee Pride, and others will be, one will be from the Lee Chamber, and there'll be an opening and closing event. So stay tuned for those new additions to Lee Pride this year. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. All right, our next order of business, we have a temporary sign permit and fee waiver from the Lee Historical Society to consider. They have a sign 6 square feet. They're going to place them on the following dates: March 26th, May 28th, September 24th, and November 18th. This is to coincide with a series of talks, speakers presentation that they're putting on. You guys have any questions or issues before I call for a motion?
I think it looks very interesting.
Yeah.
You know, the talk, I'm gonna have to try and get to one of those. I assume they're all the same talk, but very interesting. It's a Lee Fire Department, Buckets, People, and Witches by Gary Allen.
Guessing you mean the water witch, but.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, you don't know.
Find out if you go to the, let's go to this and we'll find out what they mean. But I think that just seems like a really interesting discussion. So,
Would you be willing to make a motion?
I was just checking to make sure I'm not interrupting Bob if he had a question or a comment.
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Then I would make a motion to approve the locations and dates for temporary sign permit application for the Historical Society, waiving the fee and allowing the chair to sign.
I will second.
And if there's nothing further, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, our last order of business, or general, actually I think we have a couple of last minute things, but our next order of business, we have a road toll application announcement. Every year we do a road toll, well, sort of like nobody else really, I don't know, this is sort of a weird thing that just happens in Lee, I think, where certain nonprofit groups can apply to set up a toll stop in downtown here, right outside of Town Hall, and raise money for your organization, whatever it may be. I did it one year for the soccer program, the Lee Boys soccer program. I think I raised about $1,000 in a couple hours. It was pretty good, so.
That's good.
Anyway.
I know you mentioned you don't know if anybody else does it. I think the only thing I can say is, I think the VFWs are always out in every town on Memorial Day.
Oh, great.
Or the weekend, a Saturday before. But other than that, I've never seen anybody else help out their nonprofits in town, and especially their youth organizations. I don't think I've ever seen that anywhere else.
So the deadline for the application is February 23rd, and there's a few here that are already guaranteed a spot because of previous year applications. And those are HRI, Housatonic River Initiative, the Lee Middle and High School Golf Program, and the Lee Middle and High School Boys Basketball Booster. So those three groups are guaranteed a spot this year. How many more spots are there?
So there's four others,
others.
plus the VFW has that. And the reason those were guaranteed is just the policy is if we don't get drawn this year, you automatically roll over to the next year.
Yep.
So if there's excess people.
Yeah, if we get more than 4 applications, we'll roll them over.
Right.
And so the deadline's the February 23rd, and we will select, if we have more than the 4, we will select the winners at random. Okay. That just being an announcement. Next, we have a couple of per diem firefighter EMS workers to consider appointing. Have 2 letters from Chief Brown in regards to they're both current employees of the town. Our town planner, Brooke Healy, and our IT, yeah, thank you, Mitch Arsenault.
Just a clarification, Mitch would be full-time, Brooke is per diem.
Per diem, right, I was gonna clarify. So Brooke's application is for a per diem, which is at need. It's sort of not a regular position within the EMS, and then Mitch's is to go full-time.
Right.
So I would entertain a motion to appoint those 2 candidates for Brooke
Yeah.
Healy would be, do we need to do?
We should do them separate
Yeah.
because Brooks will need an exemption to section
Correct.
20.
Yeah.
Which I think I provided, somebody has the
I have,
language for that.
yeah, I have the language. So let's consider Brooke's appointment. I would entertain a motion to appoint Brooke Healy as a per diem EMS firefighter. And we need to exempt, I'm not sure how to quite handle this, but the fact that these paid positions aren't at odds with each other.
Right, 2 different departments, no overlapping. Yeah. So you would just appoint with an exemption.
As an exemption as for section 20.
Section 20, yeah.
Is there a particular section 20 of what? Is there a specific
that's-
general law area, section 20?
The exemption is just section 20,
That's all it says.
I could give more if you
Okay.
want, but
No, it's usually there's
that's what the state
Okay.
provides for that is, a section 20.
So, yeah. If one of you would like to make a motion to appoint Brooke as a per diem EMS worker with the section 20 exemption, I would.
Okay, as long as we can do them together and don't have to do the exemption first, sure. I'd make the motion to appoint Brooke Healy as a per diem EMT/firefighter and exempt her from section 20.
I'll second that.
See if that suffices. I will call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have Mitch appointed as a full-time firefighter EMS.
Mr. Chair, I move that we appoint Mitchell Arsenault as a Massachusetts EMT basic full-time.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that brings us to the end of our general business. Do either of you have anything unanticipated you'd like to add to or state? No?
I do not.
No?
No, I do not.
I'd like to thank the DPW. It's been a weekend of snow, so I think they were out just about every day last week. So thank you. And with that, Chris, I'll hand it off to you.
Yeah, so 2 quick updates. One, just wanted to let everyone know that we will have a new look to our website coming by the end of this month, hopefully. It's essentially has all the same features, pretty similar layout and look to it. Just it's updated, and it will have a few new additions to it as well. But The company that we use, which does most of the municipalities in the Commonwealth, has changed platforms. First, we were on, I believe, an older platform that has been phased out. So this did not cost the town anything. It's basically a free upgrade because we're moving to that new platform. But Mitch, who's back here in IT, has worked hard to get that switched over, and so you will see a new updated look to the website again. Pretty much all the same buttons and features. It shouldn't be a huge learning curve to navigate it. It's set up the same way with all of your main menus at the top. It will still have the news, and it will still have the calendar, pretty much like it's set up now. The other change is that the government is having most municipalities change, or all municipalities phase into a .gov. So you will still be able to go to lee.ma.us. There will be like a redirect there, but the new one will be leema.gov. So, but if you go to the old one, it's still going to get you there. It's going to redirect. And unless I missed something, I know Mitch is back there. Okay.
So I'm going to have to update my bookmark.
So,
You won't have to.
No?
yeah. It'll still redirect you there. It's just the official will be leema.gov. So with that, the emails, the town emails will also, you will still be able to, until the state phases them out, you can still email me at, christopher.britton@lee.ma.us. But again, that will be a redirect now because those will change to christopher.britton@leema.gov. So,
All right.
but until the
I
state
knew
says
what
we
it
can't
is.
do it anymore, we'll have the redundancy. So, but
Great.
we're just getting people used to that, and so. The second one, I'm happy to announce that we have done the notice to proceed in the contract with J&J Construction for a public safety building. We will be on site starting February 2nd. And we'll start to mobilize there, and that will start our 18th month clock till completion. So we're hoping for the end of July 2027, but we should see movement started there in a couple of weeks, so February 2nd. We are going to plan a more official ceremony for a little closer to the spring when we can rely on a little better weather.
It's a little warmer out there.
But they will start to do site work, like removing the old concrete and things like that, so.
Great. Thank you, Chris. Our next regular meeting is February 3rd, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.